couple more minutes, you guys. Alrighty. Welcome, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So it is about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm over here out in Boston. My name is Desiree, and I'm going to take you through a 30-minute vinyasa flow. So we will get started standing at the tops of our mats, as we usually do on these days. And Tadasana is where we're going. So standing posture. Feet can be separated or together. I usually like to keep mine about hip width distance apart. And then we'll just start with some deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Palms are facing forward, shoulders are dropped down away from your ears. And maybe you close the eyes a little bit. Maybe keep them open, gazing at a drishti or a focus point. Again, just breathing here, inhales and exhales, same length, same strength. And we'll slowly start to bring some movements into the body. Maybe some gentle neck movements. So we'll take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And again, not again, but try not to lift that elbow to meet your ear. Try to relax the shoulders nice and evenly away from the ears. And just gentle tilt in the neck. Feel that stretch along the left side of the body, the neck. And on an inhale, we'll come back through center. Left ear to left shoulder. Keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Again, palms are still facing forward. Feet are pressing down. Maybe you've got a little micro bend in the knees to prevent any hyperextension. On an inhale, we'll come back through center. We'll tuck the chin in towards the chest. See how that feels this morning. On the inhale, we'll come back through center. And then tilting the head towards the sky, but with a protected sense of movement here, not to kink the neck anywhere. And then coming back to center. Good, now we'll start with some nice neck rolls, so slow, small circles, as if there were a pencil on the top of your nose. And then those circles get bigger and bigger. And then you take it on the other side. Those small circles at the nose, gradually making them larger and larger and larger. Nicely done, you guys. Then we'll start with the shoulders and the back. So we'll get some movements here. So we'll shrug the shoulders up by our ears, lower them all the way down. Again, shrug them up by our ears and lower them all the way down. Last time, shrug them up towards your ears. Good, and lower them all the way down. This time we'll reach the arms up over our heads. Nice and straight, fingers pointed towards the ceiling. Again, shoulders are dropped down away from the ears. We'll face the palms towards the front of the room, and then we'll cactus the arms side to side. So arms are in field goal post. There were a football kicker in front of you. He could kick the ball right through your arms. And then we're lifting with the crown of our head, lifting with the fingertips. And elbows should be nicely aligned with your shoulders here. And we'll close the palms to touch at the center. And as we open, we're going to lift with the crown of our head and find a nice back bend here. Not to just, dump it in the chest, but lifting and finding the back bend in the upper back as you engage and activate the core to protect the low spine. We'll take that like 2 more rounds. Closing, opening, and closing, and opening. Nicely done. We'll drop the arms down by the side, hands through heart center. We'll take a moment here to set an intention for the practice, to come to the breath, maybe incorporating the Ujjayi ocean breath. Deep inhales through the nose and deep exhales out through the nose. Nicely done, you guys. On an inhale, we'll get this party started. We'll reach the arms up over our heads, nice and straight arms. Maybe you bring the hands to the hips. If not, you're swaying them all the way out to the side, taking a nice bend in the knees as you fold forward. You plant the palms, you find an inhale, lengthen that back, and find an exhale. And once more, inhale, find some length. Exhale, fold over the legs. And we'll try to keep the hips over the heels here. I know that's a little difficult, but you take the bend in the knees, you lift through the hips, you put some weight in the toes here. Good, and then we'll start with a high plank or a modified high plank. So knees come to the earth. Wrists are underneath the shoulders here. And we're just going to hold for 5 breaths. Firing up the core. And firing up the breath. Nice long spine here as you lower to the earth. And we'll come through letting the legs drop if we have them up to low cobra. So low cobra, we're pretending there's a balloon between the elbows here. The palms are relatively close to the body at about the rib cage height. Shoulders are dropping down and away from the ears. The gaze is tilted forward. And the spine is nice and long, all the way from the top of the head to the toes. And again, we're reaching in opposite directions here. We're lengthening out through the legs, activating those quadriceps, lifting the knees off of the earth as you press down to the tops of your feet, and reaching with the top of your head. Again, still squeezing that balloon between the back of the arms. And good. On the exhale, we'll lower the head to the earth. Arms will remain where they are. And on the inhale, we'll lift the head, lift the gaze, untuck the toes, and we'll push our way into some cat-cows. So tabletop position, we're on all fours here. Shoulders are above the wrists. Hands are about hip-width distance apart. All fingers are pointing forward. And the shins are pressed down into the earth. Tops of the feet are pushing down as well. And you should have the hips directly over the knees here. We'll stay here for a moment just to feel this foundation, to start this posture. And the gaze will be towards the mat here, not dipping down with the head, but a nice strong neck here to allow some length in the spine. And with that, we'll start some movements of cat-cow. So entering whichever feels best first. I'm going for cat, so I'm going to dip the pelvis down, rounding through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, working my way up to the crown of the head, letting it hang heavy here, pressing down with everything that's on the earth. Broadening through the collarbones here as you push into the palms. Letting that head drop heavy here. And on the exhale, leading with the hips again, we'll tilt them up towards the sky. Finding a nice concave back here as you press down, you broaden through the collarbones, opening up the chest, shining it forward. And again, tilting the gaze, not so much that you're crunching that neck, but just enough where it creates some length in the spine. And you'll go through those motions for about 5 breaths, just inhaling and exhaling, getting to know the body, getting to know the breath and the movement, and really synchronizing those movements and the breath together. Maybe linking the inhales to the cat posture and the exhales to the cow posture, or vice versa. And then we'll slowly start to think about uncurling the toes, coming back into some stillness as those breaths come in and out. And we're going to have some fun here. We're going to start to hover the knees. So by doing so, we'll press down with the fingers, the palms, push away from the earth, press into those toes as you lift the heels off the earth for 5. Tilt the gaze forward, keep a nice long spine for 3. And 4. And 2. And 1. And lower. Take a moment, sit the heels back, maybe come into a brief child's pose, or maybe even coming into a puppy pose can be nice. So hips are up high, chin comes to the earth, arms are stretched out forward. We're planting the feet as we press down through the tops of our toes. We'll slowly hover forward, coming through Sphinx posture. Legs are extended long, forearms are on the earth, palms are pressing down, shoulders are above the elbows. And we'll just play with some leg movements here, lifting with the right leg, extending it long, reaching through the toes as you reach in the opposite direction with the crown of your head. Exhale, plant the foot. We'll take it on the other side. Left leg lifts. Nicely down, lower to the earth. One more round. Right leg. Finding some length in the upper back. Left leg. Activating that core. Lower the left leg. We'll press our way back through high plank into downward facing dog. And we'll walk out this dog here. Left foot bending into the right foot, or the right leg rather, straightening through the opposite leg. Walking out the dog, pressing down through the palms, pushing into the earth. Letting the hips be the highest point here. We'll think about coming all the way onto the toes, keeping those hips at that height as we lower the heels towards the earth. Nicely done, you guys. We'll walk the feet towards the hands. Find an inhale, find some length. Exhale, take it to a forward fold. Sweep the arms up over your head, completing your first sun salutation. Draw the hands through heart center, and then down by the sides. All right, you guys will take that again. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, hands through heart center. We're going to pick up the pace a bit here, so sweep them up once more. Lower, take a forward fold. Step it back to high plank. Again, if you need it modified, you take it modified. We'll lower through chaturanga to high push-up. Low push-up to upward facing dog. Uncurl the toes, downward facing dog. And you're here for about 3 to 5 breaths. Maybe you find stillness. Maybe you walk up the dog a little bit more. Maybe you sway those hips side to side. Your practice, your breath, you take it where it needs to go. And remember, pressing down through all 10 fingers, especially that thumb, knuckle, and index finger. Pressing down with all 10 toes. We'll shift the gaze forward as those inhales and exhales come to a close, and we'll bend at the knees and walk our way forward. Inhale for some length, exhale for some strength. Press down with the feet, push your way up into standing Tadasana, extended mountain pose. Arms are up over the head, nice and straight. Bring the fingers to touch, hands to heart center. And we can drop the palms down by our side. Another inhale, sweep the arms up. We'll take it through sun salutation once more. Folding over the legs. Hips are nice and high. Find some length. Feel the stretch in the the hamstrings here. Step it back, high plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathing inhales and exhales. Now we'll lift the right leg this time, stepping it through to low runner's lunge. So getting that right foot in between the hands. We'll drop that left foot down, uncurl the toes, shift the gaze forward here. So we're framing the right foot here now. Maybe begin to lift the arms up over the head. Maybe knock something out of the way. And we're pressing down evenly with the legs here, thinking about keeping the hips as even as possible. The hands can come through your heart center. And then we're going to take the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. So we're going to twist as best as we can, and then we're going to hook that left elbow to the outside of the right leg. And you press the elbow into the leg, and you press the leg into the elbow. Equal opposite reaction here. Press through the palms, open up that chest here. Find a little bit more twist as you inhale and exhale. Nice long spine from the top of the head, all the way down to the hips, all the way down to that back leg. Beautifully done. We'll come right back through center. Sweep the arms up over your head. Exhale down to the earth. Inhale that that left knee off of the earth. And step it back to high plank. Hold for 3. Nice engaged legs for 2. 1, lower. Take a vinyasa float, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a moment, walk up the dog, inhale that left leg up. Tuck it in towards the chest, step it through to low runner's lunge. In between the hands will be the foot. Drop that back right knee, untuck the toes of the back leg. Come into your low runner's lunge here. Tilting the gaze forward all the way up as you reach the palms over your head for nice straight arms. Again, trying to keep equal weight in both legs, as if you could pull them in towards each other, right? You could squeeze that mat, scrunching up the mat because you're pushing so much energy into both legs, keeping the hips nice and square. Bringing the hands to your heart center, twisting to the left, taking that right elbow to meet the outer leg of the left knee. And to twist deeply, you have to find the length, right? So reaching forward as you reach back with that leg, opposite direction. So I'm going forward and then going back. And that creates the length and space to twist a little bit deeper. And that breath helps you get there, right? So inhales and exhales, same strength, same length. Pressing into the palms, pressing that elbow into that left leg, and pressing that left leg into that right elbow. A few more moments here. Slowly unravel, come back through center, sweep the arms up over your head, lower to the earth, untuck that back right foot, lift the heel, step the left foot to meet the right, high plank for 3, 2, 1. Lower to your low push-up, come through upward facing dog, untuck the toes, use that core, let it take you to downward facing dog. Five breaths here. And then we'll run through some sun salutation B. Or Surya Namaskar B in Sanskrit. We'll tilt the gaze forward, bend in the knees, walk your way towards the front of your mat, keeping a nice long spine, energy in the hands, find some length. Weed in the toes here, get those hips as close to above the heels as possible. Fold and let the head hang heavy. Find another inhale for length and then sweep the arms all the way up and over your head here. Bring the hands through heart center. Down by your sides, take a moment. Maybe come back to that intention. Sweep the arms back up over your head. And this time we're going to take a chair pose. So we're going to start with some Surya Namaskar B. So hips sink back as though there's a chair you could sit on. So we're reaching up and forward with the crown of our head, down and back with the pelvis. Nice long spine here. Maybe sit a little bit deeper. And the feet are together here, pressing into one another for 3. Tilt the gaze up for 4. For 2. And 3. And 1. My counting is so weird today. Please ignore it. Fold forward. Plant the hands. Step it back through high plank. Chaturanga. Low push-up. Come through upward facing dog. Untuck the toes. Come to downward facing dog. Again, deep breaths in and deep breaths out that whole way, right? We'll inhale the right leg. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Hover your way forward. Step it through. Low runner's lunge. This time we'll pivot that back heel, pivot the back heel down. A nice bend in the front knee, coming into warrior one. Nice strong back leg, and a deep bend in that front knee. So that back foot is on about, say like a 45-degree angle. The heel is anchored and the toes are pointing towards the left side of your room or mat. We'll bring the hands through heart center here. We're actually going to pivot up onto those toes of that back foot. We're going to come into a quick crescent lunge, but a twist. So crescent lunge, we're here. Hands through heart center. Maybe you bring the arms up over your head for a good measure. Bend deeply into that knee. Equal strength in both legs. Nice straight back leg. Find the twist. Find that length. Elbow to knee. And we're on nice, strong toes of that back leg. As you bend deeper into the front leg, you straighten out and engage more through the back leg. As you can see, I was just like dipping down into my shoulder. Press the elbow into that leg and the leg into the elbow. Find some more length there. Open up the collarbone. Find that twist. Maybe open up the arms here if that's there for you today. If not, you keep them by your sides, right? You guys will slowly unravel. We'll drop the hands down. Step the foot back. Come through a vinyasa flow, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We'll inhale the left leg, taking nice deep breaths. As we do, we tuck that knee in towards the chest. We'll step the left foot forward, coming into warrior one on the left side. So anchor that back heel down. Toes will go about 45 degrees to the right edge of your room or mat. And then we'll press down so much through the legs that we hover our way back up. Arms reach overhead. Nice strong legs here. Deep bend in those knees. Almost done, you guys. Bring the hands through heart center. Find a twist by lifting through the back foot onto the toes. Bending deeply into that crescent lunge. Lift and lengthen. Then find your twist. That right elbow hooks onto the left knee. Nice strong back leg, high on the toes of that right foot. Again, pressing into the knee with that elbow and the elbow into the knee into the elbow. And open up, find that twist. Strong palms. So you press into one another. You find the length with the crown of the head. Excellent, you guys. Drop down, step it back. One last vinyasa flow. Chaturanga. Upward face your dog. Downward facing dog for 5 breaths, you guys. All right, slowly begin to think about lifting that right leg, but just briefly, we're gonna hover it forward, tucking it towards our chest. Then we're gonna turn the right knee and try to meet it to our right wrist. So we're coming into half pigeon here. It's gonna be a gentle, but kind of intense hip opener here. So think about if you need a block under here, you grab a block or a pillow, and then you're just gonna fold right over that leg, maybe coming onto the forearms or all the way onto the earth. Or maybe you take a figure 4 on your back. Any hip stretch here just to kind of get into those areas that we were just working. I tend to keep my foot flexed here just to protect the knee joint. It's kind of an awkward position, but it can feel nice. A couple more moments, and then we'll start to think about the other side. And you can get there by either just lowering onto the right hip and turning onto the left side. Or you can come through, a nice vinyasa flow if you want to keep that energy moving. And we'll come onto that shin of the left leg. The right leg extends long, and you fold on over. For about 3 to 5 breaths. And the head hangs heavy here. Maybe, again, you fall all the way into the earth. Let the earth hold you up, or you can even stack your knuckles on top of one another. Eventually, we'll find our way onto our backs, coming through our final resting posture, our Shavasana. So letting the limbs long. And some nice deep breaths here. Maybe close the eyes, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll slowly begin to think about bringing some life back into the body after that stillness. Maybe rolling over onto the right side, pressing your way into a comfortable seated posture. Bringing the hands through heart center as we again come back to our intention. Giving ourselves some gratitude for showing up today and every day. Thumb knuckles to our third eye center in between the eyebrow. And we'll bow to each other as we say, Namaste. Beautifully done, you guys. Good morning. I hope you enjoyed the class. Again, I'm Desiree. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. If you enjoyed the class, you want to send a love offering, you will do so by finding my first and last name, Desiree Savoia, through Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, or CashApp. So thank you again. Have a wonderful day, you guys.